Okay. Alright, so I'm recording. So basically, working at Walmart, my experience working at Walmart was pretty shitty. I had to work in the produce section of Walmart, so at least from my experience, from what I could see, it seems like produce has the worst. Just because, compared to what everyone else has to lift and carry, produce is the section where you really have to exercise that requirement of being able to lift 50 pounds over your head, because that's all you're going to be doing all day. And depending on whether or not I guess the managers like you're probably going to be doing the floor, which is the main section of the entire produce aisle. It's basically everything other than the wet wall. And the wet wall is where you got stuff like salads, fresh veggies, like, most of the fresh vegetables. But every other thing that isn't on the wet wall is pretty much one person's responsibility in the mornings. And so basically in the morning, you got morning shift. They come in the morning from 4 to, I remember, like 9, no, not 9, like 10 or 11. And so as soon as you come in, you gotta take these big ass pallets out of the little fridge you got in the back. And that's not really too hard because you get a pallet jack. A pallet jack makes carrying heavy ass things easy, so that part's not too hard. But then, once you get these pallets out full of everything that you need for the floor, which is like, apples, oranges, some vegetables like tomatoes, onions, and all these crates, all these pallets, almost all of them are pushing that 50-pound limit. And you got to play a game with Tetris with these things. At least that's what they want you to do. Normally, if you get a big ass pallet and somebody tells you, hey, I need you to take all this stuff down and put out what needs to get put out, like if oranges need to be filled up, if onions need to be filled up, then whatever doesn't need to be filled up, you just put it back in the fridge in the section that it belongs. It's pretty easy. But the thing is that, usually there's two people that come in. It's one person for floor and one person for wet wall. The wet wall is pretty empty for fresh vegetable sections anyway. So one person just goes, fills up, takes those vegetables that they need from either the fridge or the pallet, and they fill it up. And then they just, go around the wall looking for things that may need to have either discount prices or they're expired and they need to be removed and filled up again. It's pretty easy because, you just got boxes filled with salads, really light stuff. It's not really heavy. The only heavy thing is the beginning part that you do with the vegetables. And the only heavy thing out of those vegetables are the cabbages. Cabbages are pretty heavy. They're pretty thick, but, that's about it. And so everything else gets put onto one person. The rest of all the other responsibilities for the floor. And, it's not so bad. It's doable. But the thing is that, I consider myself to be a pretty fit guy. And just lifting up 50 pounds worth of weight of vegetables, produce over your head occasionally. Well, for the most part, because once you put them back in the fridge, you got to put that stuff over your head. You got to stack it up. You got to make sure it's being put away. So quite often you have to put it way over your head, 50 pounds. And the thing is that your muscles grow way faster and heal way faster than your ligaments and tendons do. So, it was inevitable that I ended up getting a back injury, but we're not there yet. But that's inevitably what led me to just being forced to quit. But anyway, and so you gotta basically pick up these pallets. Once you start getting to the bottom of the pallet, you're basically getting into squat formation if you don't want to fuck up your back even more, to pick up all this produce. And it's easy work. It's not the hardest, most complex thing in the world. Anybody could do it. But the thing is that it's the weight, it's the constant lifting of these 50 pounds. And like I said, your muscles can grow quick, but your tendons take much longer. And now that this is your job, you're basically coming in every day doing this heavy exercise, and then they're not even let you like. They don't even let, like, I get it, you know, like Walmart's pretty lenient with the dress code, but they enforce jeans. You either wear jean shorts or jean pants, and I didn't have any jean shorts, so you know, I'm over here stuck wearing my jeans. I tried wearing like pseudo jeans that are more like sweats. They look like jeans. They're kind of made out of a similar material, or well, maybe not a similar material, but it's like much more breathable, easy to move in. But they expect you to do a free range of motion exercise, which is like squatting, getting down to a low angle, picking up all this stuff. Like, you wouldn't go to the gym and do squats in your fucking jeans. You can, it's doable, but I mean, it's like, why would you do that? You need free range of motion if you want to be doing these types of compound movements, and they just insist you wear jeans because it doesn't fit with the Walmart aesthetic. And yeah, I get it. Like, you know, things have been better lately. Like, they let you have tattoos, piercings, yada yada. I mean, I never had any of that, so it's just kind of like, it's just kind of ridiculous that they, like, I get you don't want people running around in sweats at work, but like, I was wearing like they're kind of like pseudo jeans, you know. I could still run a belt through them. They're just more comfortable, but they didn't like that. And then maybe it was the color. Maybe they didn't like that they were military print. I don't know. And so, yeah. And then, you know, you got these, you just, normally if you get a pallet, let's say you have onions on top, apples on top, and you got to fill those out. Naturally, you're going to put those on your cart, and you're just going to dump those in because it's quicker and they're already right there. Well, no. That's against procedure. You're not allowed to do that. No, you have to. What they want you to do is they want you to play fucking Tetris with the pallets, even though they only give you like an hour and a half, because they have this strict schedule where like you have to have these pallets done and everything needs to be filled out and done within an hour, because once customers start coming in, all this stuff can't be on the floor. You can't have that because people could trip, and that's understandable, but it's like you're making one person do all this work on their own. And so they want you to play Tetris with these pallets because it's against procedure. They want you to go table by table in the exact way that they want you to do it. They want you to, like, let's say if mangoes are way at the bottom and you have to do mangoes first. Well, nope, you got to take everything down, stack it a certain way or get it out of the way, and then you have to get the fucking mangoes all the way at the bottom, and then fill out those mangoes, and then fill out that table, and then move on. And then you have to fill out those tables and then move on. And you have to do it in order. They want you to do it in a specific order, and they aren't lenient with it at all. Like, I even tried to talk to them about it. I'm like, it's just not. Just makes more sense to grab the things that you can and fill out the things that can be filled out quicker, and do that first. Like, everything's gonna get filled out. It's like, why are you insisting I do it this way when that's not only gonna waste time, but it's even more lifting. It's even more heavy lifting than I would normally be doing, which just further exacerbated any potential, like, any injury that I could have got. Like, I got an injury, but it could have made it so much worse. It's probably what made it go. Like, I stayed there for, let me think, like, say like 5 months. 5 months. I was there for 5 months, and I was doing all that heavy lifting like basically 4 days out of the week, potentially 5, because sometimes they would like need me to come in, and I'm like, okay, like, I'll do that. And 5 months of doing that kind of exercise, like, and I like exercising. I like the exercise from the job, but like your muscles, your tendons and ligaments take way longer to heal, like almost 6 to 12 months to heal over a couple weeks with muscles, So it was inevitable, and I wonder if anyone else has even gone through that, but it's inevitable that someone's going to get an injury. I didn't even get an injury on the job, thank God. I got an injury when I was leaning down to just pet my dog. All I did was lean down to pet her like I normally do, and then my fucking back, like, didn't give out completely, but I got a shock of pain enough to put me on my knees, and I was like, oh fuck, I cannot go into work. I can't keep doing this. And so, yeah, they want you to play Tetris with these big ass pallets. You gotta do it a certain way. Yeah, I tried to go against the status quo and talk to the manager about it. They didn't like that. They thought I was talking back to them. He was talking to me like he was like some fucking parental figure of mine. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not talking back to you, bro. I'm just trying to explain that there's an easier way to do this, especially since I'm the only one fucking doing it, you know? But no, they get, you know, in any workplace, you got people power tripping, people in power. They want things done a certain way. And I can partly understand why, because, you know, the procedures would work if it wasn't just up to one person. But they don't want to hire more than one person. They don't want to have two people working on the floor for some reason, even though things would fly by way easier and take way bigger workload off of just the one person. And so they want you to do it a certain way. And if you don't do it quick enough, you're gonna get told that you should go faster, like a fucking mule. They treat you like a mule. They really do. Like, I'm going as fast as I can. I'm not gonna be. And then like the manager would come and then like try to like show me how he likes to do it. And you should see this guy. Like, he's moving really fast. Like he's acting like his life depends on it. He's acting like he's in a war zone. He's like moving really fast. He's like he's fucking moving this over here. He's doing all this, and I'm like, bro, like, I'm not gonna be working like I'm in a battlefield, you know? Like, this moving that fast, even if all I'm doing is just stacking fucking fruits, I'm pretty sure the brain doesn't recognize that I'm stacking fruits. It's like, oh shit, you're stressed, you're moving quick, you're gonna need adrenaline, you're gonna need some energy, oh shit. And I don't want to be in that fucking high stressed fucking mental state while I'm stacking fucking fruits at Walmart. It's really fucking, it's stupid. And so, you know, like, if you don't go fast enough, they're gonna basically whip you. They're gonna be like, oh, you know, hey, can you pick up the speed? Yeah, go a little faster. And I'm just like, bro, like, I'm not a fucking mule, man. I'm not a fucking mule that you can just whip and fucking tell to go faster. And even then, you shouldn't do that to mules. It's fucked up. But like, I ain't a workhorse, man. Yeah, I know this is manual labor, but you either fucking help me, or you shut up and let me do my own fucking thing, or hire someone else to help. But anyway. And so, yeah, like, they'll tell you to go faster if you don't do it this way, do it by procedure. And honestly, I think it's because they just didn't like me. I think it's because I didn't speak Spanish, which a majority of them did. And a lot of them were bilingual, but, you know, a few of them weren't. And it was obvious that they preferred to just speak in Spanish. And I don't know, maybe they didn't like that. Maybe they didn't like that I didn't speak their language. I mean, I was as polite as I could be in English, but maybe they didn't like that. Maybe it was just regular work stuff. Like, they didn't like that I was a new guy, or they're trying to haze me. They're trying to be like, yeah, let him do all the work and see if he sticks around. It's like, yeah, brilliant, guys. Yeah, let's injure the new guy and then hope he sticks around to get injured again. Like, are you fucking stupid? Honestly, I was considering doing that just so I could sue Walmart, but nah, I didn't feel like doing that. Probably not even gonna win anyway. It's me versus Walmart. But and so, yeah, they put way too much pressure on produce, way too much pressure, especially in the afternoons. So basically, there's 3 in total workers that come in. 1 worker works on wet wall, 1 works on floor, and there's another worker that does dairy and eggs. They gotta fill up eggs, they gotta fill up cheese and stuff, obviously make sure nothing's expired. But then that morning dairy person leaves in the afternoon, and then, you know, so does basically everybody. In the morning shift, everybody leaves in the afternoon, and guess what? One person shows up in the afternoon, which is called the night shift, to do everything. That includes wet wall, that includes the floor, that includes dairy and eggs. And usually there's like a manager, you know, who's managing some other guy and me, like whoever's on produce. They'll be like working at meat and dairy, or they'll be doing some other shit. I don't fucking know. But meat's like easy. Meat's like a subsection of produce, but it's like easy, you know? You don't get like heavy, big old boxes or pallets of meat. And whatever you get, it isn't really all that big of a deal. So they all leave by the afternoon. And they have 1 person coming in the afternoons to do everything. They expect them to fill up whatever needs to be filled up in the floor, which there's like, let me try to like mentally remember how much there is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 tables that usually contain like majority of like fruits and vegetables. You got your tomatoes, onions, and there's like subsections in each table. So there's like 4 different divisions of like jalapenos, tomatoes, onions, and some other thing will be all in one table. So it's not just one table of one thing, it's multiple things. Everybody's been to Walmart, you all seen it. And so one person has to not only manage that, but then there's another section where they got more. There's more onions, there's more apples, there's more fresh fruits. That whole section is normally just one person's deal, and it's not. I mean, that one section, the floor, is already such a huge responsibility because you have to check every single fruit and vegetable to make sure there's not even blemishes, not even dark spots. They have to look pristine and perfect and picture perfect, or else you take them out and you either donate them or you throw them away. And that's so many variables. Like, and they get so pissed off when there's just one bad fruit, one bad vegetable, because a higher state manager could come in and see that, and they'll get on the manager's ass, and then they get on your ass, because that makes sense, right? Like, it's just one person's responsibility to check for all these variables. Like, even just one fruit gets you in trouble, one bad fruit, and it's like, bro, like, there's all these different variables to check for. You're bound to just have one bad thing, you know. It's just too much to keep track of for one person. And not only that, but there's like, you just have so much more to worry about. Like potatoes, it's more, and one person, like in the morning shift, it's not so bad, you know. Once you get used to it, you could do it pretty quick, you get used to it, but it's still a lot of work, and it takes time. Like, it takes time to check everything and make sure everything's looking good. And then of course, if you take your time to fucking check everything and make sure everything's looking good, they're gonna fucking treat you like a mule again and tell you to hurry up. And so night shift has it worse. They come in, I've even had people that I've talked to that work in night shift, like, they're stressed out, they look awful, they look like they don't get enough sleep. And, well, maybe they do, but they still look stressed the fuck out. And the fact that, like, any Walmart job is stressful is just completely ridiculous. But anyway, I mean, not to say that it doesn't happen, it's just the fact that it shouldn't happen. Should have more than enough people working and helping out for everything to run smoothly at this point, right? But anyway. And so when night shift comes in, they have to worry about the entire floor, the entire wet wall, plus dairy, plus cheeses and eggs. And that's just so many variables. Like, I don't even see the thought process in that. It's like you have 3 people coming in to handle all this in the morning, and then you just have one guy coming in to do the rest, like, to handle it at the most busy time of the day too. The afternoons when people are getting off of work, that's night shift's job. That's one person's job. Like, you can't really expect one guy to do all of that on his own, right? And then their solution to this problem was just go ask for help. Ask someone for help. And it's like, you want me to ask my manager for help? That dude's running around busy as fuck. Looks busy as fuck. I don't know if he's faking it. I don't know if he learned the art of looking busy while not actually being busy, since he's probably been here longer than I have and he has a manager position. But there's no way you can ask your manager for help because they're fucking busy as fuck. And even if you do, I mean, eventually asking every single day for help is just going to get them on your nerves, or you're going to get on their nerves, and they're just going to stop helping you. They're going to start coming up with excuses to not help you. So it's ridiculous. It's like you're arguing that it's like, oh yeah, you could just ask for help, you know. It's like, don't be afraid to ask for help. And of course I'm not, you know, like, I don't mind. But if that's the default solution to this problem, there's something inherently wrong with the system you guys got going on here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's funny because all you would really need to fix all of these issues is just hire 2 people to constantly be at the floor. And even during in the afternoon, 2 people should be fine enough. It might be a little tiny bit stressful, maybe a bit stressful in general, but I think 2 people could handle it. But instead, you got one guy coming in and handling everything. and they expect you to just go around asking other people who have their own responsibilities while they're there at Walmart working to just stop what they're doing and come and help you. Like, what the fuck? Like, that makes no sense. And so the system is inherently flawed. Produce is treated like shit. They're not paid enough. And like, I remember even talking to one of these coworkers about it, and how I really wanted to move to like the front, working with customers, just helping people out. Most people aren't chimps, they don't freak out. They don't, and even if they do, it's like, just ignore them. Like, go get your manager, just tell them like whatever you can. Like, you could just be like, yeah, man, like, I'm just doing the best I can, or I'm doing all I'm able to. I just work here, bro. Like, it's not really hard to really level with people and just keep your cool when you're working customer service. And maybe it's just because I've done it for a while, but it's really not that big of a deal. And so this guy justified Produce's low wages because he's like, oh yeah, well, the front has to deal with customers and customers are crazy. And it's like, okay, well, there's no risk of you potentially fucking up your body for the rest of your life in the front. There's no risk of you getting injuries in the front that could ruin your ability to work. Like, sure, you take a mental toll, kind of, but I mean, it's like, it's really easy to protect yourself in customer service. Like, just brush them off. Because at the end of the day, that's all you can really do. Like, you're not going to fight someone at your job, right? You're not going to let somebody get to you at your job who just chimped out because they didn't get the right item or you did something by accident. Like who cares? Like, let people fucking chimp out, and if they want to chimp out, go get your manager and be like, all right, man, I'm gonna take a quick break, a little mental break, and then that's it. Like, it's really easy. It's not that big of a deal. So you just kind of just fucking ignore them. Like, if you play any online games, ever been online, it's really easy to learn how to just fucking ignore people when they're chimping out. And then if they're in front of you, it's even funnier, because then you could just give them the fucking, like, NPC stare, and that's it. Like, what are you gonna fucking do, right? And so, yeah, produce is treated like shit. And my experience at Walmart has been overwhelmingly unsatisfying. And it was unfortunate because, I mean, yeah, it was a rather easy job, but that's how they get you, right? They make it just easy enough to where you're like, wow, this is a good job. This is a great job. I can't leave this because it's not that hard. But then that's when, the work starts piling up. The stress starts piling up. And it's really, I thought. Anyway. And so one of the things I remember too is that, like, while I was working, I would just be working, like, as I'm talking to either customers, well, maybe not customers, because usually they need you to, like, go and help them with something. But, like, when coworkers would come and, like, talk to me, and I would just be working while I'm talking to them. And then I think he was jealous, I don't know. But my manager would come by and, like, tell me to, like, get back to work, like, oh, hey, like, and then he would try to, like, get the attention of the other coworker to, like, distract them and prevent us from talking. And I'm just like, what, are we not allowed to talk to our coworkers? We can't be friends? And let me just set the stage here, because my manager was a guy, I'm a guy, we're probably around the same age, and so were the female workers coming to talk to me. So I don't know if he was jealous or something, but, like, they would just come up and talk to me. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to talk to anybody. They would come up and talk to me, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? Or if they come to my aisle, maybe I'd say hi, but that's, like, about it. And even then, I'd just be to introduce myself because I'm the new guy, And so my manager would see that and basically just try to, like, break us apart and prevent any sort of interaction. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this feels like I'm in fucking school. Like, why, like, I'm just, like, I can't talk to my fucking coworkers. They can't come and talk on their free time to me. Like, I'm not doing anything that I'm still doing my work. I'm still working while I'm talking. But, like, it was ridiculous. It felt demeaning. It's like, why? Like, I can't talk to my coworkers because my manager gets jealous. Like, I'm getting fucking treated like a fucking mule, a workhorse. Like, I really don't think the male coworkers liked me. And just on top of the flawed system, it was really annoying. And then now we get to the injury where, you know, all this work eventually piles up, all this heavy lifting eventually piles up. And oh, before I do that, before I get there, I have to mention that it's crazy that they had this old lady coming in at night shift. She would come in at night shift. I would right before I leave, I would see her come in. And it's like, how can you have this lady carrying these heavy ass crates by herself? Probably. I'm sure she asks for help most of the time when she needs it, because whenever she asks me for help, I'd run to help her. I'd be like, oh, do not worry, I will lift that heavy fucking thing for you. But like, there's times when you got to get like crates all the way from the top of these shelves, and we don't even have a fucking ladder to get up there. Most of the time I'd have to like fucking climb up there, even though they say don't climb up there. And it's like, well, how else am I supposed to fucking get up there, goober? You don't got a little mini ladder here. You don't got a stepping stool. And so it's ridiculous. They have this old lady coming in to do this heavy lifting job, and that's not even just the only old person that was there. Almost the entire store is filled with old people. Almost all of them are like 40 and up. Almost all of them are like getting up there in age, and it's like, why are there so many old people here? Even if I ask them for help, they might not even be able to fucking help me. Even if they do help me, they're probably gonna end up getting a fucking broken back or something like I got, and I'm young. So there's way too many old people there. Like, it's like they're all kind of looking out for each other. And, you know, I know it sucks. You know, the economy wasn't the best even when I was working there, which was not even that long ago, like a year. Or less than that, like a couple months. But anyway, you got way too many old people working there. Not enough room for young people. And the young people that do get it, I mean, like, it's funny because they got these huge, tall guys, probably younger guys, because they did kind of look like younger than me. So no facial hair. They got these like big, tall, 6-foot guys. Like, I'm like 5'9". They got these big guys that could reach up those shelves a lot easier than I could. Working the online shopper job, like, you're just calm. You're basically shopping for somebody. It's easy. Online shopper is the easiest fucking job. You're just shopping for somebody. You grab their things. You take your time. Sometimes there's a lot of orders, but it's like, you know, you're basically just shopping for somebody, and then you go and take their groceries to their car, and you help them put them in their car. You just do all that work yourself, which, you know, like, if you ever went shopping with your parents, it's really no different. And in my personal opinion, I liked it. I liked shopping. It was fun. And that's, like, they got these huge guys working that job, and I'm like, why the fuck am I over here in fucking produce? You know, like, it just makes no sense. You got these Goliaths here working these easy jobs, and then you got, like, the small, short-statured fucking people working the heavy lifting job. It just makes no sense. So the hiring manager is, like, just doesn't think thoroughly about who should be working where. And it was just so ridiculous to see how messed up the system they have there, and all the people that are hired there are like you got some folks there that look like they should already be in retirement, and maybe they are retired already, and they're just working there because they're bored with their lives. Like, there's this one guy really didn't like me for some reason. I mean, I have really long hair, like way past shoulder length, so maybe he didn't fucking like that I looked like that. Like, maybe he didn't like the way I looked or something, or that I didn't speak Spanish, but he spoke purely Spanish, and it's like he just didn't like interacting with me. Like, every time he'd see me, you could tell he was just pissed, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's your problem? We barely met. I'm trying to get to know everyone and be nice, and you're over here getting all pissed off because I don't speak your language. And it's like, you don't speak my language, I'm not getting mad at you. And technically, you're in my country. And Mexico's across the border, man. Like, no offense, like, I have nothing against Mexican people here. Like, when you live this close to the border, it's only natural you're going to see other Mexicans, but and you're going to interact with other Mexicans who don't speak English, that's fine. I've been through that my entire life. I usually get along fine with everyone. It's like, oh, you don't speak Spanish, that's fine. I know how to point and gesture to what I want. It's easy. It's not a big deal. But like, this guy just really didn't like something about me. I don't know what it was. And then it just wasn't the best experience, I guess. But I gotta say, it was only really nice when I kind of got the hang of things, and the people before me did a good job. So I didn't have too much to do other than to keep up the status of everything. And I could be alone. I could just do my own thing. You worry about nothing. Even the managers barely showed up because they got their own problems. But at the same time, it's kind of ridiculous because they should still be around helping produce, because the whole section is a fucking huge responsibility. And so, yeah, you just got all these managers, all these people, all used to some old or flawed system that they just defend with their lives, because they don't like change. They don't like people coming in and saying, hey, this doesn't work, or this isn't fair. They just tell you to get put up with it, or we're gonna find a way to fire you. And I guess maybe, like I said, it could have been hazing. Maybe they were just trying to see if I would stick around, or maybe they didn't like me, and so they tried their best to get me to quit. I guess getting people injured is one way to fucking do that, right? And so after all the work, getting used to just, like, I didn't even care, I'm like, I'm still gonna work here as long as I can, whether or not you guys like me or not. And so after all that, it eventually happened. I bent down one day on my day off to pet my dog, and my back fucking gave out, I guess. And then I dropped to my knees. I was in pain. I was like, fuck this. I'm calling my manager. I'm telling her I'm not coming in until it's healed. And it's a back injury, so that takes some time. And even then, once I'm not feeling pain, it doesn't mean you're completely healed. Even once the pain's done and you're able to bend down comfortably, the tendons and ligaments still need much more time to heal. It takes way longer than it does for the muscles. And so that's when they're like, okay, well, now you have to get involved with Sedgwick. Sedgwick is their third-party fucking system where they handle like absences, leave of absences, injury claims, and stuff like that, which is really fucking stupid, because I already, like, it's just like, no, like in any job I've ever had, you just call your manager. You just tell them, hey, I can't show up for work. Don't put me on the schedule. I'll show up when I can. That's it. But no, Walmart wants to act like they're all professional and have a third party come in and make things more complicated than it needs to be for whatever fucking reason. And so, weeks go by. I'm like, well, I have nothing to tell Cedric right now other than to claim that I'm going to, take some time off. So that's what I did. And then I ended up, like a few weeks later, I scheduled an appointment. I was able to get an appointment to get some x-rays done so that my doctor can, like, fucking give them the little note. And not even just give my manager the note. I have to give it to Sedgwick, and then Sedgwick gives it to my manager. All that bullshit. And so I do that. I get an x-ray. So I'm able to send them some documents. And then, this whole process sounds short, but it wasn't. It was almost 3 months. I think it was about 3 months of healing and waiting for Cedric to just do this whole process, my doctor's process. And so my manager calls and she's like, hey, we haven't gotten your Sedgwick documents and all that. And I'm like, well, I called them. I've already done my part. I've already done my part. It's not up to me, whatever the fuck Sedgwick does, but I'll give them a call. And then I call them, and it turns out they didn't fucking file any of my documents. They didn't call my doctor, even though they got the number and everything. And this was like 3 months, almost 4 months in. So I'm just like, fuck it, like, fuck it. Why am I going to come back into work? You guys, like, my manager's over here telling me I got to come into work because it's getting late. And I'm like, well, I could come into work if you put me to work somewhere else, because I'm not doing produce, I'm not lifting heavy weights, I'm not going to break my back for the rest of my life and permanently injure myself, potentially to just go back to fucking work for you guys. Like, no, I'm not doing that for Walmart. So either you just put me somewhere else, or I'm not coming back into work. And I didn't say all that. You know, I was just like, yeah, I'll come back into work, but I need to work like in a different section or something. Like, I can't go back and be lifting heavy weights. And my manager's response is, well, you haven't been working for 6 months with us yet, so we can't transfer you. I'm like, why not, bro? Like I didn't say that, but it's just like it's so dumb. Like, you're essentially just telling me I'm fucked and that I shouldn't come back into work because that's my only option, really. It's either come back into work and break your back and potentially fuck yourself over for the rest of your life, or you just don't come back to work. And so that's what I did. I just didn't come back to work. It was ridiculous. They basically forced me. I had no choice but to not come back into work. They didn't want to. Sedgwick failed to do anything on their part, and my manager was basically just pressuring me to make a choice. And I'm like, all right, I'll make a choice. And that's what I did. And so ever since then, I've just been living off of the money that I saved up since then. I'm running low, but that's what I've been doing. And that's where I've been these past few months. I've basically been unemployed. And now I am sharing information with all of you. Sharing this story. And on top of it, I'm just sharing, a recipe. Something I wasn't eating at the beginning of this journey. I came up with this recipe after a long time of just eating the cheapest foods at Walmart. The cheapest foods. I was making sure to save my money, hold on to my money, so that I could focus more on my passions, focus more on potentially looking for another job, and just, trying to make the money last for as long as it could. And that's how this recipe was born. And I do plan to talk more about all the products that I've personally tried and that I guess don't recommend spending your money on too often, because eating all the options that you got at Walmart, there's plenty of options, but then there just becomes so many less options when you start reading the ingredients, guys. Like, I basically don't even look at like half of the aisles anymore. Basically all of the aisles are just filled with garbage, a bunch of bullshit that you shouldn't even be eating. Once you start seeing it all, it's just like, fuck, like, I don't even want to eat half of the crap that's there anymore, Like, it's like, I don't want to eat this shit. And not only do I not want to eat this shit, even if I wanted to eat it, it's expensive. It's going to make me run out of my money faster. I'm going to end up being without any money if I keep eating this crap. And not only that, but this crap is fucking killing me. Can't wait to share more.
Bye.